Well, welcome back to another video here at Union Josh Yu-Gi-Oh! Today, we're doing the 2025 Synchron Deck profile. Well, thanks guys for coming back to Union Josh Yu-Gi-Oh! And today we're revisiting sort of what my favorite deck I think of all time, and that is Synchrons. I grew up with 5Ds. That was the anime I watched. Those were the cards I enjoyed. I think my first sort of 5Ds card was the classic Junk Warrior from that 5Ds starter deck. And since then, just kind of fell in love with the deck. I think the last profile I did was, I think, sort of April time of 24 last year, at time of recording. So this is my end of February 2025 Synchron Deck profile. We're looking at it in different pieces today. This is a 44 card list, so let's just get on into the video and see what we've got to look at. Oh, there we go. You say watching over us. So to start off, we'll start off with the Synchrons. We played 2 Jet Synchron, 2 of your level 1s, are really helpful recursion cards. You summon it off of Speeder. You can get into your Celestial Shaman with a token, but it also gets you a junk card of Synchro Summons with, and then it can also come back just to extend your plays, which is really, really nice. Love to see it. For our 2s, we played 2 Assault Synchron. This is a really nice one to get off of Junk Speeder, but it's also a nice one to have in your hand because you can just pay 700 a free special summon if you need to. We kind of use this off of Excel Synchro Stardust to get into some of our into our 10s. We only play 110 in this list, but we'll get to that in a bit. So those are our 2s. For 3, we play just 2 of the Junk Synchron, the most well-known of the bunch, really. Junk Synchron are classic cards, being able to special summon a level 2 when normal summoned, which is a little annoying. It'd be nicer if it did it off special summon, but normal summon is fine. It's still a great sort of thing to start with. And for our final level 3, we play 1 Revolution Synchron. This also really quite nice. You can synchro with it in hand if you need to. And you can also bring it back as a level 1 if you're missing a jet or you just want to keep those plays going. But you can only do that once, which is still really good. Then for 4s, we played 2 Stardust Synchron. 2 of these is fine. I've seen some lists play it at 3, some lists play it at 1, but I think 2 is sort of the area you want it to be at. It's really helpful. Just that it also extends. Most of these guys are helpful extenders on their own. Being able to just kind of bring itself out of the graveyard at the cost of something that you maybe don't need at that point in time is always helpful. And our final is 1 Wheel Synchron as our level 5. Really nice. This really do enjoy using that. It is quite nice. You can get to a Light and Dark Chaos Angel in this build. With these cards, not in this build. I don't use a Chaos Angel here. However, you can get to a Light and Dark Chaos Angel fairly easily. I think I showed that in my last list, but however, it's changed since then. We've gone a few different directions, so we don't play the Chaos Angel anymore. But this is it for tuners for the Synchrons. Let's move on to the other parts of this build. To go alongside our Synchrons, we're playing Triple Junk Converter, super standard in Synchron builds. Discard it and a tuner to be able to get the one that you need, which is normally Junk. You normal summon Junk, special summon Converter into Speeder. Your plays can start from there. So 3 Junk Converter is pretty standard. I've seen quite a few lists drop Doppel Warrior. I just still enjoy it. I think it's really nice to even be able to have that additional, if you've just got it in hand or you're able to get it in the grave somehow, to be able to bring it back or to summon it. So if you've used a Junk Converter, you've sent, I don't know, a Wheel Synchron or an Effect Veiler to the grave, and you got your Junk Synchron, normal summon Junk, get Converter back out of the grave, special Doppel from hand, and then you sync with Junk Synchron and Doppel Warrior to make your Junk Converter. No, you're not your Junk Converter. Your Junk Speeder, and then you get 2 level 1 tokens. I can take you through some of those plays at the end. But yeah, I really enjoyed Doppel Warrior. We play the one Synchron Carrier as well. This is really helpful. I've really really found that just quite nice, because this, I believe, you can grab off of Junk Converter. So if you do start with a Junk Synchron in hand, send Junk Converter, an Effect Veiler, or a tuner that you don't need to the graveyard. To grab this, then you can normal summon this, normal summon Junk Synchron, get something back from the grave, get your Converter back from the grave, and then you've got, and then you've still got 3 monsters to play with instead of just 2. And then if you synchro, I think while this guy is on the field, yeah. So if you then synchro with Junk Synchron and Junk Converter, make a speeder, you then get a level 2 token, which is really nice. So yeah, that's really cool. And then we play the one Trail for obvious reasons, for the Stardust Synchron, Stardust Synchron, Stardust Illumination. Yeah, just it was really nice that we got this in a holo, actually, because it was a common in Dawn of Majesty. But I'm quite glad that they gave us a rarity bump for that. So that's the rest of the sort of cards that go alongside the Synchrons. For the rest of this, I know that this was kind of an engine that was a little old. However, I'm playing sort of a Kashtira package in this deck with 3 Fenrir, 3 Unicorn. I just think that this is really helpful. This is really helpful for a number of reasons. It's a level 7 on board for turn 1. And also the Kashtiras just have great effects. This came out of my Azamina Fiendsmith White Forest deck. I cut the Kashtiras when Supreme Darkness came out, and we focused more on the Azamina stuff than the Kashtira stuff. So I had this engine floating around and tried it out in the Synchron build, and have had a lot of fun with this. It's really easy to get into and excel with this. A Kashtira normal summon a Jet 8, and there you go. But it's just nice to have an extra body and an effect that can almost bait out some of those negates that your opponent has. So instead of starting with your fragile Junk Converter, normal summons, Junk Synchron play some of this stuff, and you're able to get out some of those hand traps from your opponent, a Veiler or an Imperm or something. Get those down an Ash, and then you can normal summon and get some of that stuff cleared. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the Kashtira, the package. We play that with 2 Kashtira Birth as well. That's the entire Kashtira package. We don't play any Kashtira extra deck monsters. I did have the rank 7 in the extra deck for a brief period of time, but really just didn't vibe with that as much as I did with some of the synchros in there. So took it out. But yeah, a Kashtira package I'm really quite enjoying. So let me know if what you think about that, and whether if you have success with Kashtira inside Synchrons as well. Onto hand traps. For this build, we don't play as many as I want to. I have still got a couple of board breakers in here that I'm tempted to put into the side deck instead, and transfer some of the side deck cards in purely because of the format. But triple Veiler and double Droll on Lockbird are the hand traps that are in the deck at the moment. So let's move Yusei into a place where we can see him. It's a nice token. And a lovely collector's rare Droll. But yeah, 3 Veiler, 2 Droll is kind of where I'm sat at the moment. I did used to play cross out in this build, but yeah, I didn't like that at all. I really just didn't find that it was as consistent, or not. Yeah, it just kind of limited plays in the Synchron. There was too many cards that you can use. So the cards I'm tempted to replace are 3 Dark Rulers. So I do play 3 Dark Rulers in the main. However, I am tempted to sub them out for 3 Nibiru's that are in the side deck. They could come in. Nibiru is sort of really good at the moment, sort of against quite a few decks. So that could happen. At the moment, I'm still running 3 Dark Rulers in the main deck along with these guys. But that could be cut. That's sort of a judgment call for you. What your locals looks like, what cards you're coming up against more frequently, kind of tend to dictate what you're playing. If you've got a high meta locals, then maybe look to play some more hand traps over board breakers. I don't know. I still have. I'm taking this hopefully to locals. Yeah, it's either this. I'm taking. Oh, well, I'm taking one of 3 decks to locals this week. I'm either taking Azamina, White Forest, Fiendsmith. I'm taking Synchrons, or I'm taking Blue Eyes. The only reason I might take Blue Eyes is if cards arrive on time. I've got a couple of cards I still need to come in order to play that deck. But I'm really enjoying playing that. And there will be a deck profile coming up for Blue Eyes shortly. If you're watching this after it's live, there'll be something on the screen taking you to Blue Eyes now, which I really enjoy playing Blue Eyes. But back to Synchrons. On to spells and traps now. I play 3 of this card. On your mark, get set, duel. This is a great card to open. If you control no other cards, you can add a Synchron monster from your deck to your hand. So it's basically a junk converter, but you're not pitching anything. And then it's got a secondary effect of standby phases, putting counters on. And then if you get 2, you get to draw a card. Depends how far in the game you get if you're activating that effect. We're not often getting super far to get that. And then on top of that, we're playing 3 Synchro Overtake. This is great. This is just another way to your junk Synchron. You're revealing your junk warrior in your extra deck, getting your junk Synchron to your hand, and getting some plays going. And that's the only card that we play that really lists a specific card. You could play Jet Warrior to get a Jet Synchron to hand. I don't see the need to. Up next is your 1 Stardust Illumination, your 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, and 1 Called by the Grave. That's your 44 card list. But maybe there's some things that we could cut down. Maybe take out a couple of the Synchrons. You could cut Jet down to 1. Maybe you could cut any of the Synchrons. Maybe you could cut maybe a Stardust down to 1. But yeah, I've kind of I like the 44 build. That's what I've been running with recently. So yeah, that's the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. This is where we see some significant changes from last time. Last time there was quite a few different cards in here that have since been replaced. So let's get on into it. Firstly, our level 2 Celestial Double Star Shaman. I cut this. I don't think this was in the last build. However, I've put it in this one. I always enjoy synchro climbing, and this is one of the best ones to synchro climb with. A level 2, able to summon up to 4 level 2 non-tuners. So you're kind of wanting to do this towards the end of your synchro line. So you've summoned, ideally you've done a junk synchron with a Doppel Warrior to get a couple of tokens on board with your speeder in the extra monster zone. And then you've summoned out a range of Synchrons with ideally, you always kind of want to get at least a wheel and a jet on board with that. And then you can climb with the rest of them and maybe climb with these 2 at the end, because then you get the most resources back of level 2 monsters, non-tuners from the graveyard. So you can get your Doppel Warriors, you can get your junk converters back. Which is really helpful to just kind of keep climbing. I realized that there was a gap that I wanted to fill, and I've always kind of wanted to toy around with this card and play it, and have thrown in Armory Arm as my level 4 play. Really, because I just enjoyed Armory Arm. I never really played with it when it first came out, but this is my level 4, just for a couple of those instances where perhaps either we've got something on the board that does need maybe that extra 1,000 attack, or it's just we need to get to a level 4 non-tuner, because we play a heck of a lot of tuners, and there's a lot of synchro tuners in the build. So to have another level 4 just to climb with is super helpful. Onto your level 5, so those are the ones we're not, the lower levels. 1 Junk Speeder, 1 Junk Warrior, 1 TG Hyper Librarian. Junk Speeder is the MVP of this deck. We need this to go off. We need this to resolve, which is super helpful. Gets us all of those Synchrons out of the deck. A brilliant card. Junk Warrior. I love the QCR of this card. It is just so beautiful, and it's that scene. It's the scene. It's like his first scene from the anime as well, where you see summons him for the first time and he pulls that pose, and it's just I love it. And then our TG Hyper Librarian as our 3rd level 5. You'll notice there's an absence of Excel Synchron here. This is our level 5 I've decided to cut. When playing and testing, it was one I was just not going into as frequently. It wasn't really coming up. I didn't need as many level 5s as in previous builds because of some of the Kashtira stuff. So we've gone for a few higher level monsters instead and have cut the Excel. But those are the 3 level 5s. And then our level 6 is the Tri-Edge Master. I just don't see too many people talk about this card. I really enjoy it because it gets different effects depending on what summons it. If it's a 1 and a 5, you get to destroy a card on the field. If it's 2 and 4, you get to draw. And if it's 3 and 3, you get to treat this card as a tuner monster. And then there is an effect. Oh yeah, if you use 3 monsters, it gets all the effects. You're not often using 3 monsters to make Tri-Edge Master, but yeah, to either get a draw or to just blow up a card on the field is super helpful, even when you're climbing. So that's why I play that over Stardust Charge, because Charge only gets you a guaranteed +1, but Tri-Edge Master just has that little bit more versatility depending on what monsters you're using to summon it. So that's why I choose Tri-Edge over Stardust Charge. On to some of the higher level synchros now. Shooting Riser. This card doesn't get the love or respect it deserves either. I love the jump promo. But this one is a level modulator similar to the Excel, which is why I choose to play Shooting Riser over, just because I think it's an easier level to get into, depending on the plays that you're making, obviously. But also, you're able to send a monster from deck to grave whose level is lower than this card, and you can reduce this level by the level of the card that you've sent. And then you get the quick effect of being able to synchro on your opponent's turn, which also is super helpful. So that's why I play Shooting Riser. And now, here we go. One of, if not the most expensive card in the collection. This came in about a month ago that I haven't actually really shown off. It's not in the best condition, but this is the only card, the only one I was able to get for a reasonable price. It is, there are some, it's not perfect. There are some definite creases and stuff with this. Is a played card, but I'm not being able to get this in a mint condition probably ever. So here we got in the collection a Ghost Rare. Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon is beautiful, regardless of the condition. You can see there's a bit of wear up there. There's a crease over here and up the top. However, that Ghost Rare on the main card, it just never gets old, and it's so beautiful. I was originally playing with, it was a toss-up between the original Duelist Genesis Ultra Rare that I've had basically since the set came out. I was able to trade it with a mate back in 2009. Or I was playing with the QCR, because the QCR it looks really nice. But I really wanted to play this deck, so I splurged and I got the Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon, and I'm still not over it. This card is phenomenal and so beautiful, and especially in these sleeves. Not sponsored, but TSX1.com, Team Samurai. Great sleeves. The Synchro sleeves look beautiful with especially a Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon in it. So shout out to you, Sam. Appreciate you. So yeah, we play Stardust Dragon, and then we play one Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. So you're summoning this, and then on your opponent's turn, you should have the when you summon this, you get your what's he called? What's the level 2? Assault. You get your Assault Synchron back. And then you have this, and then on your opponent's turn, you synchro into Stardust using this effect, and then you're able to go into your level 10, which I think still works. I do need to double check the... yeah, it does work. I had to make sure, because our level 10 is not... we only play 1. So that's... there we go. Next one is the Crystal Wing. A classic Crystal Wing. Still love this card. This card is getting quite old now, actually, but still really nice. Gives you a negate on your opponent's turn. So what's better than that? And then here we go. So those are the 7 and 8s. I want to still be able to see Ghost Rare Stardust there. We play a 9, a 10, 2 11s, and a 12 are our last 5 cards in the deck. So for our 9, we're playing the Virtual Worlds QB Shen. Really enjoy this card. This card seems to sneak under the radar in some of these Synchron builds. But just to be able to banish every card instead, obviously you don't want to summon this against Malice, because that is not good. You don't want to be banishing any of their stuff. But against a lot of other decks, this card just shuts off a load of the graveyard effects. It just gets rid of it. So really enjoy the virtual world there, the level 9. We only play one level 10, which is the Arms of Gen X Return 0, which is a dark tuner and one non-tuner. And as I double checked, our Assault Synchron is a dark tuner. So you summon this, you synchro it with the Stardust Dragon, you create your Arms of Gen X, and you should have, because the extra deck has quite a few attributes in it, you've got light, wind, dark. What else have we got? Anything else here? No. Well, you've at least got light, wind, and dark, and then you've got, dependent on your hand traps that you play. If you play Ash, then that's another one, but the negates on its effect are just incredible. If you're not unfamiliar with this card, let me just read it for you. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, banish one monster from your graveyard with the same attribute and negate the effect. And if you do, destroy that monster. And you can only use each attribute once per turn, but it's a really good card. Gen X Return 0. I'm choosing to play that over, what's the other one? Satellite Warrior, I think is another level 10 that we choose, or Chaos Angel is another one. Chaos Angel is great. I love a Chaos Angel. But you're not getting both light and dark from this. And we're playing a few... Chaos Angel is not the end point for this deck as what it used to be. We used to rely quite heavily on the Chaos Angel to kind of protect. But we're going for a couple of other things. So the last little package... let's put those ones out of the way. The last 3 cards that we've got are sort of the little... technique we want to try and get, and you can end on both on 2 of these cards, which is quite fun, which is a Psychic End Punisher, a Shooting Majestic Star Dragon, and Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon, you'll note, might be in a slightly different sleeve. Is it in a slightly different sleeve? No, they're in exactly the same sleeves. I've nicked this out of my Blue Eyes for the moment, because my Crimson Dragon for... Well, this is the Crimson Dragon from this deck, but I'm hoping to take Blue Eyes, as I said earlier. So I've nicked it out of the Blue Eyes deck for the moment. But these 3 cards are really fun, because the aim of these is you're not summoning Shooting Majestic normally. You're not doing it. But what you are doing is you're summoning Psychic End Punisher and getting Crimson Dragon on board, and then on your opponent's turn, subbing out Crimson Dragon for Shooting Majestic, which is a negate. And once per... during your turn, you can negate all the effects of your opponent's monsters. So if you want to summon it during your turn, absolutely do that and just wipe everything. Or when your opponent activates a card effect, banish this card until the end phase, negate the activation. And if you do, banish that card. So again, you don't want to be using that against Malice, but that is a great effect, and you can finish on both of these cards. Which is good fun, and just a laugh. And yeah, that's why I love Synchron so much. Probably not the most meta deck you've ever seen in your life, but a deck that is really fun to play with. A deck that, while it might not win every locals you go to, might put up a good fight. I'm still to test this out, but during play testing and stuff, it's been all right. Just depends what matchups you come against, but yeah, this is sort of my pet deck. I'm trying to get this to a higher quality as I can, because I just love the cards. We'll quickly look at the side deck. I realise that we're now sort of dragging this out a little bit, which is the 3 Nibiru that we saw earlier. A single Arch Nemesis Protoss. That's quite good, because you can actually get to that quite easily through the 3 attributes in the deck, which is, yeah, I love that. And I really love the collector's rares. Just the, can't really see it because of the sleeve, but I really enjoy that. That's it for monsters. For spells and traps, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Change of Heart, and 3 Triple Tactics Thrust, alongside 3 Evenly Match and 3 Synchro Zones. So sort of a wide range of there. You've got stuff to get rid of back row, and Triple Tactics to set your Evenlies and your Synchro Zones, because you're only summoning Synchro monsters. They're the only ones that matter. And that kind of shuts off quite a bit. Yeah, Ryziel's not attacking through that. They might need some stuff to try and out that, but yeah. So that's the deck. That's the Synchron deck for February 2025. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments if you've got any suggestions, any updates, any things that you think would make this deck better, or just questions on why I choose this deck. I'd love to keep hearing from you. Yeah, as I say, this is my favorite deck. I love playing with these cards. Just 5Ds all the way was just my childhood. So yeah, I really enjoy playing with it. And a flipping Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon still blows my mind. Like 10-year-old Josh was never imagining he was getting that card ever. So I'm really glad to add that to the collection. It's just so beautiful. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the deck. As I say, do drop a comment, like, subscribe, check out my other videos. I've got a few other deck profiles around. But thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you. Take care and peace.